Aramus, or also known as Force Commander Hairjail, or the Nameless Force Commander, is a protagonist of Dawn of War 2. He does not speak in the game because the developers wanted you to feel as that Space Marine. But the reason that we know his name is because of the novelization, which is inspired in the game because it was written during development. So it has a lot of differences, like calling the 4th Company the 5th Company, but it gives us pros, like telling us the name of the Force Commander and notable staff of the 4th Company, such as Librarian Niven, Lexicanum Conan, and Chaplain Palmarius. We also learn the names of the individual squad mates. The 4th Company of Davianthul should not be confused with the 5th, the Fated, but it is implied that they arrived to Subsector Aurelia at the end of the Chaos Rising campaign. While Aramus, or as I like to call him, Aramus Gale, he does have an interesting backstory. Aramus comes from a very decent family from planet Meridian. Recently promoted to Force Commander, Aramus is the youngest Force Commander in the chapter's history. He was sent to Calderis to help Davianthul stave off a massive orc wog. The chapter expects him to tip the fight and save Calderis. A man of few words, he is renowned for keeping calm in high-pressure situations and find a path to victory, even in the jaws of death. The promotion was earned during an operation to retake planet Hadrian by leading a squad deep behind enemy lines to destroy artillery batteries. The objective was inaccessible through air, so it required careful movement and strikes through mountain passes as to not alert the enemy of his position. The fact that Aramus was able to destroy the enemy batteries and bring back his entire squad unscathed was considered nothing short of a miracle. And this is when it gets interesting. The peril of youth. Many in the chapter are impressed by the progress of Aramus, but others felt his promotion was premature. This promotion was mandated by Chapter Master Kairas himself, and was sustained with considerable resistance, despite the fact that the Chapter Master had never met Aramus in person. Records reveal that the promotion was first decreed a full year before the Hadrian campaign had begun, and simply did not go into effect until after the campaign had concluded. This was a casual divination display of the chapter's librarians. Since the game takes place on the recruiting worlds of the Bloodravens, I was expecting that we will get to see the librarians' neophytes that were mentioned in Dawn of War 1.
I first met the librarian Isidore Achios when I was still a battle brother with no men at my command. Over 30 years in service, and I had not even attained veteran status. I had seen the power of the librarians and their neophytes, but none who wielded the kind of raw power, ability, and will that Isidore possessed.
The reason of why we never get to see the librarian neophytes is because of lack of assets. As a matter of fact, Aramus should have been assigned a librarian to his strike force, but they probably want to save the librarian for the expansion. During the Aurelian campaign, the strike force of Aramus achieved all the original goals, defeating the Orc Wog, pushing back the Eldar, and defeating the Tyranids.
Well done, Commander. Bone Smasher's death leaves the Orc warband broken and in disarray. You originally came to Aurelia to defeat the Orc invasion, Commander, and now you have done so. The chapter and the sector owe you a great debt, Space Marines.
Once the fleet arrived, the Bloodravens proceeded to rout the Tyranids from the sector. The Aurelian Crusade seemed to have come to an end, but then a time skip happened just before planet Aurelia returned from the warp. And we get a little hint of one of the adventures that happened between the time skip. On the item Feast of Valhalla, when Orc freebooters established a hidden raiding base on the frozen world of Typhon Septimus, the sector governor called on a detachment of the Imperial Guard's Valhallan Ice Warriors to root them out. A single squad of Bloodravens also deployed, despite the governor's wish to exclude the Space Marines, whom he distrusted. Valhallan Colonel Ottoson, however, welcomed the raid and formed a bond of respect with the Honored Warriors. At the end of the operation, with all the freebooters dead, Ottoson gifted his personal power fist to the chapter. This is great because we get to learn more about the worlds that we don't get to see in the game. Now I know what you must be thinking, they stole it, right? Well, no. But do not worry, I will tell you the origin of this meme later. Then in the expansion of Chaos Rising, the Black Legion attacks the worlds of the Bloodravens. Gabriel Angelos, leading the 3rd and the 4th Company, alongside Force Commander Aramus, managed to push them back and uncover secrets of the chapter, which revealed that Kairas was a heretic. They also managed to defeat the greater demon of Nurgle, Ulquiar, and together they defeated the Black Legion and freed the souls of the fallen Bloodravens. This was the ultimate test for the Force Commander and his strike force. They remained in the light of the Emperor, and they were not found wanting.
We beat back the Tyranids! You will fare no better!
Fearsome words, Bloodraven. Now show me deeds. These gene seeds will ensure the future of our chapter. Well done, Commander.
Commander, I am forever in your debt. I cannot understand why Captain Angelos and Captain Diomedes refused to aid us. But in our darkest times, against our most terrible foes, you stood with us. Meridian will never forget this. I will never forget.
Commander, you and your brothers shall be our agents of purification within the chapter. Your actions have already set a shining example of honor and valor. And when none others could, you opened the eyes of Captain Diomedes to the corruption around him. Take the retribution back to Calderas. Diomedes awaits you there. You will assume command of the 4th Company, rightly taking the captaincy left vacant by Davian Thule. When the time is ripe to strike at Kyrus and the rot in the chapter, we shall contact you. When that day comes, we must all be ready.
Then in the expansion of Retribution, we get to see a description of Aramus's Thunderhammer. And this mighty weapon was lost to the Bloodravens 10 years ago, when its wielder, the youngest Force Commander in the chapter's history, was branded a renegade by Chapter Master Kyrus. Many Bloodravens believe that this hammer banished the Plague Demon Ulquiar back into the warp, and also being branded a renegade by a heretic doesn't mean much. Aramus was probably fighting against Kyrus, but we never get to see him in the game of Retribution. Hammer of the Nameless is fitting considering that Aramus never speaks, and that you, the player, get to name him. But it also shows that the Bloodravens are pro-efficient when it comes to Thunderhammer. I mean, if you think about it, Gabriel Angelos is wielding the Warhammer 40,000, Godsplitter. Just think about a more famous hammer than that. I mean, you're probably thinking on a heretical one, but we already know where that hammer is. With that said, I hope we get to see him back as a Primaris Marine leading the 4th Company of the Bloodravens. Also, please let me know in the comment box, how did you name your Force Commander? I have seen some examples out there that are absolute gold. Take care of yourselves, heretics and neophytes.
Let none find us wanting!